we are online and the same situation we have. So my name is Tatiana, who don't know, and I'm working with participants and also mentors of our project. And I just want to introduce you Maria. Maria is managing partner of New Fashion Zone. Maria, say hi to everyone.
Hello, nice to meet you, everybody.
Yes, because Maria can help us, and I'm also can help you to make some points more clear if there's a problem with the language and so on. So don't be afraid bothering us and to ask us to make more clear some things for you. It's okay. We're here to help you. And I think we can start. And of course, I just want to announce that today's topic is design at all. It's all about producing your collection or about work of design department and so on. And let me introduce our today's speaker and also mentor of Ukrainian New Fashion Dance, Adrien Bortotto. Adrien Bortotto have a huge experience in the fashion industry. I think Adrien can tell you a lot of different things from his work. And also Adrien had huge experience in a luxury fashion in a big brands such as Lacoste and Dior. So please welcome Adrien. We want to hear you. And I just a second, I show this presentation in a big screen, and we can start. So.
Okay, here we go. Does everybody is comfortable with the sound? If anything's wrong, if I speak too fast, if I use some words you don't understand, you can interrupt me to tell me, no problem. So there will be different slide. We're going to talk about different topic around my specialty, my field is design since now almost 13 years. I'm working full-time as a fashion designer, as a pattern designer, as also some other aspect of the creation around fashion design. And I've been working for small brand, organic brand, international brand, mostly we also have a base in France because I'm French. This is where I work, and of course I travel the world for any other needs in fashion. And I also worked for a more big brand, as Tatiana told you, and even in luxury. So I hope I will have a lot to teach you or to share with you. That's okay for my quick presentation. I don't want to spend a lot of time on me. I prefer to talk about you and fashion in general and process. But if you have any question about me, I will also answer if it can be helpful for you to understand the way I worked or where I came from. Let's go to the first slide, Tatiana. So there is different slides. There is some topics, and it's of course it's not complete. It's never complete when we want to talk about such a vast subject as fashion design, and when you are numerous different brands with different goals and different universe and different field and techniques, and also different clients. But I will try to give you the more useful information as I can today. And at the end of every slide, which is not too long, you can make all your question and answering. So don't wait to be at the end of the lecture to ask question, because it will be too much information. So I start, I give you the first slide, I talk, and then you can interrupt me and we can go for question before going to the next slide. I think it will be the more dynamic way to work together. I don't want to be like a school, you know, I am a professional. I work on the ground, I solve real problems. So I want the exchange to be dynamic for you and not to be like in a lecture at school. So the first topic we go with is design for different types of brand is the title. So strategy to apply due to the scale. So I will have to move a little bit that screen. Okay. Okay, I see how to do it, sorry. Strategy to apply due to the scale of brand and seniority on the market is the point one. Point two, identity and potential direction for a brand at different steps of own development. Point three, who we are, where are we going, adaptability, and point four, anticipation market tomorrow. So let's go with the one. Strategy to apply due to the scale of brand and seniority of the market. That means you are actually a lot of brands. Some of you exist maybe for what I read since 5 or 7 years, some other 4, and some other are more beginner, like the first year, or even maybe thinking about commercialize your brain. It's something. This strategy, of course, will be very different for each of you. As an example, we can say today some very huge brand. We have strong economy and strong resources. To give you an example, they are able to spend money to create collection who don't give benefits in return. So that means they can do a fashion show with near to zero benefits back in terms of sales, or doing a new capsule collection or direction inside the brand or new area inside the brand, who don't give any commercial result right now. They are able to lose money for 1 to 3 years on a collection or on a concept before it give back some incomes. That means they don't really get zero from it. I mean economically, but usually they get back some visibility on the market, some big events, some fashion show, some entertainment for the public, some kind of creating icons in the psychology of the client and the public. So it's not wasted money, but it means concretely, they make a collection and they don't give much incomes, but it gives a lot of visibility and marketing to the public. So it's very important to understand that, because some brands are able to pay an expensive fashion show in 3 or 4 different fashion capital city during the fashion week. Doesn't make much money on that, but they will make a huge money on what they will sell after on second line, like sunglasses, perfume, handbags. So this is really important to understand that, because as a beginner brand or as a small brand or average brand developing, you see this brand spending so much money, doing so much things, and you maybe have a little complex like, oh, we can't do that, we can't afford such show, we cannot do that right now. But don't be complex about it, because for you now the strategy is totally different. You don't have to copy what they do, because they are so far and different and in a different scale and a different seniority on the market with huge investor. So the strategy can be completely different. Of course, if we come back something more near to your situation, when you are building a brand, creating it, or already have a brand who start to have some client and regularity and shops on the market and visibility on the markets, and you are more on the way to stabilize it or grow and find new clients or going abroad, the strategy will be different. It's more, you have to be more efficient on immediate results. You cannot invest long distance money without any economical result quickly. So maybe you will focus on some strategy who directly links between two things. invest energy and money, but not too much, connecting to your budget and what you want to spend as a time or money in that moment in this project, and also getting the maximum result from it in terms of connections, buyers, networks, clearly incomes, money, and clients. So the question is there. The strategy will be very different for each situation, and don't try to copy what exists from the big brand directly. You can get inspiration from it for what is useful to you, but don't think you should do exactly the same. As an example, I had a friend who opened, was famous in Estonia, who tried to open shop inside Paris. So she did it. I will not tell you all the story, but she started with showroom, meeting clients and opening a shop, and took this shop, as we advised together, to keep it for like 2-3 months as a pop-up store. And finally, the feedback is she spent a lot of money on this store just to be on that famous street in Paris. And she didn't get so much result economically on it. She gets some new clients, she gets some new connection with foreigners, not even only in Paris, because Paris is a very international city on the business plan and also on tourist plan. So clients can go to Paris for tourism and also spend a part of time on fashion shopping, because this is part of the culture of Paris. Or even we have some hardcore tourists who come from Asia, and their weeks of holiday is turning only into fashion, like making the queue in front of the Hermes shop for hours. There is a permanent queue, or making all like big shop like Printemps, Galerie Lafayette. Maybe you heard that name before. So there can be some hardcore tourists dedicated to fashion also. So the result of this shop, finally, she closed the pop-up store after 3 months, and the result was not so good in terms of money. But other strategies she applied, like opening a showroom in Paris and selling the dream and the glitter about an Estonian famous designer who installed in Paris, who have a very Parisian showroom in a very classic Frenchy style and architecture. This create a good communication. This was very valuable, and it allows her to continue to have some personal clients in Paris. Of course, her field was about, just to give you the context, about cocktail dress and wedding dress, so kind of luxury or half luxury, and also some other ready-to-wear dress, more affordable, but mostly in kind of dress from 600 euro to 2,000 euro, something like this. Start to be from ready-to-wear to beginning of luxury. That she do also more expensive dress when it's wedding, of course, or special orders. Just to give you that example to see she applied different strategy, and in fact, the strategy that many people dream to do, like open a shop in Paris, was really not the good one for her, but it was super efficient to have a little permanent showroom in Paris connected to her apartment in Paris, and to receive only kind of VIP private client on the side of her main business in Estonia. So I give you this example because I think it's concrete about you who are based in Ukraine mostly, and think about how to, for most of you, I read in your different text, have the goals to extend abroad, extend in European market. So this is just a little example to show you some strategy can be very different and efficient or not. It depends on what you do, where you go, what is the scale of your brand, what is your seniority on the market, and what is the need of income you have to receive from what you invest. I stay a bit global in my example and topic because we will see later for each of you to give more concrete answer. So that's the point one, and the point two, also the direction for brand at this different step of our own development. I also a bit answer about it, because I said it depends of how long you exist, how much you invest, where you want to go. So it can be different steps. You can start with developing, for example, the online connection with the market you target. Moving for some specific event like Fashion Week and start to be visible on the Fashion Week. Then step three, opening your own little showroom or your pop-up shop or something else as a strategy. And you can go like this step by step. You can grow, or you can change strategy, like coming back from this try and develop another line who was more successful, like maybe something about indirect from the internet client to have private meeting, to have the private showroom sessions for a small meeting of people that you prepare before in advance from Ukraine. It can be many different things. And where are we going? Adaptability, it means, of course, you create a brand, you create an identity, you create a story, and you create some items and products you sell to people. You always, of course, in intern, I mean inside the brand, think about who we are, where are we going, are we in the good direction, should we grow, should we get smaller, reduce the width of the brands to be more specialized on the best sell we do or on the best product we do, to be very efficient like on this. Or you have a lot of questions like this who go through all your career, as I can say, or brand history. This should be permanent. But I mean, this should be permanent inside the brand, but it should not be visible from outside the brand. The client should always see a strong identity who goes straight in one direction. If you like the brand, you follow that direction. If you don't like the brand, you cannot please anybody. The people will choose another brand to follow. But there is nothing worse than a brand who lost her identity because she doubts, so she starts to do a little bit of that, a little bit of that direction, a little bit of that direction, a little bit of that, to say something and the opposite in the meantime, because there is nothing worse than losing your strong visibility and identity. For example, a brand who specializes on super colorful boxer underwear for the men and swimsuit for the men, and everybody knows this brand for that, and there is a strong visibility on the market, and when you are a man, you want a swimsuit, you go to that brand. If this brand starts to do a little of women, a little of kids, and maybe something girls than underwear because accessories are working well from another brands and glasses and so on, and in the end, the client don't really see where this brand is coming or what she do, or it can have terrible effect on your result, and also terrible effect on, because you spend a lot of energy in different directions and a lot of money, and also terrible result on your visibility to the client, on his vision of you in his mind, in his brain, and on the visibility and the credibility of the brand on the international market. So it's very good to keep that in mind. Where are we? Where are we going? How we should adapt to the market or to the result? But in intern, outside, when you sometimes you can change a direction or open something new. It can be very useful after a mature analyze, thinking about it. You know, you have the client in front and the opening gate of on the market. But when you give it visible to the client, like we open a line for kids this year, we was doing adult and we start kids, it should be really strong, and the client have to understand you still the same, you still doing what you do as the bestseller, you can still find it exactly the same, but there is something new, something refresh, because it's very important in fashion to give some fresh things to the client always. But you have to be very straight to the point, clear, strong direction. Like people want to follow a brand, follow an identity, connect to this identity. So they don't want, like, brand is like a leader for the client, and they don't want to see this leader who don't know what he wants, maybe there, maybe there. It gives a very bad impression. they lost trust in the brand. And also the media don't like it, because the media, they need a clear vision about you, to talk about you in an efficient way for you to get results from the way they talk about your brands. And anticipation market work, so point 4 is, of course, you have always to think in back office, inside your brand, on how the market is going. Are we on the good direction? Like what we do will be still affordable or efficient or luxury in 5 years? If you do luxury, what I do now, still on the market or not? If you do like more streetwear, what is the streetwear today, but what it will be soon? We need to anticipate, to change the materials, the factory maybe, or something. So this is very important. So 4 points about design for different type of brands and for different goals on the market. So that's an example of one slide. I did this one in, well, it's a bit long. I have maybe to be quicker, in 20 minutes. Now I open the question for you to have in mind everything I said recently, and if you have question about it. Don't be shy, here we go. You are there to learn and to have some information. So every question are permitted, and don't be afraid to ask a stupid question. There is no stupid question, or to be totally out of the subject. It's not a problem as well. Or I will try my best to answer you quickly.
Okay, guys, do you have questions or not? Just tell I have a question or I don't have a question. We can move to the next part.
Okay, no problem. If there is no question, I move to the next slide. Does English is okay? There is maybe a translation for some of you, or everything is fine with the communication? I don't speak too fast. Let me know.
Everything is good.
Everything is good? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, it's okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirill. Thank you, Julie. I hope it's the same for everyone. Okay, how the successful brand work in their collection, how to follow and create trends. So I give you an example before. So there is, I have a lot of sound from someone. I don't know what is it.
Tatiana, can you turn off the
The
sound of Elmira?
I have some music, but it's good. Okay. I still have some music and
Okay,
sound.
okay.
Okay, found?
I did it, yes.
Okay, great. Here we go. So how to follow and create trends. Point 1, catch the DNA of your brand seen from the outside. And 2, define who you are and build a strong story to tell to the world. And 3, create your own icons. Okay, so here we are more into, in that slide, we are more into who you are and what you tell to the world and of fashion and to your clients, and what kind of icons your client must have in mind when they think about your brand or when they see an advertising about your brand. Catch the DNA of your brand. So the DNA is what makes as a human being, is what make your brand genetically unique. Like in the gene of your brand, you know exactly, you know the own history of your brand, you know how you build it. If you was 1 person, 3 person, if you was building something from a family business, from a old fashion in Ukraine, or something totally new with I saw some sustainable or ecological interest, you was moving from one business to another, or whatever, but you know the story of your brand, you know how you build it. So you have to catch the gene about the story, but you have to catch what is the most important in your story, what define your brand. In a few, you can make the exercise in a few words, in a few sentences, or in a few pictures, it can work. because we do fashion, we are very visual. What is the DNA of your brand? Can I give you an example? I don't know if it's the best example, but let's say about Hermes. If I tell you Hermes, what do you see in your brain? The first image to come to you. There is bag, there is maybe the universe of the horses, there is maybe the square silk, there is maybe France, there is maybe old traditional France, like going to the horse bet and runs. Maybe for me, this kind of things will come to my mind. Maybe it's something near to that or something totally different for you. But it means I say this 6-letter Hermes, you have a brand, you see luxury, and you see many things. So it means the DNA of the brand is strong, and you catch quickly the history. So it means since a long time, this brand communicates with the people, with the clients. This brand talk to your brain, to your conscious brain, and also to your subconscious, with a lot of picture, a lot of history, a lot of entertainment, and a lot of products and fashion show and so on. So this is an example to say what is the DNA, what you have to define as the DNA of your brand. And when I said seen from the outside, it means you know the story of your brand, you know every details, but the public know nothing. So what you have to catch, because you have a limited attention, very, very limited attention when you're on the market, for the buyer, for the clients, for the wide publics, for the visibility, people focus not more than 5 seconds usually on something. So they have to catch it in 5 seconds, in 3 pictures, in 2 words. This is why you work so hard on your logo. This is why you work so hard on your video, on your visual, on the word you use, and on the best sell or iconic items that you have in your brand, or coming soon as icon if you are a beginner. I wish it. So this is what we call all the DNA, and it's a very important concept to understand, because if tomorrow you decide to work for a big brand, I don't know, even a very let's talk about H&M. I saw there is some shop. I am in Minsk actually, for your information. It's my first day in Belarus, and I also watch the brands here, what is happening. I was in a big mall, and there is H&M, this famous brand who provide a very affordable or ready to wear for everybody, men, women, and kids, I guess. This brand have a very strong visibility on the market, exists since a long time. I don't remember exactly. I was buying H&M t-shirt and pants when I was a student because it was super affordable, and also there was in two at that time. It was like, oh my god, like more than 10 years ago. But they was very efficient at that time on fast fashion. So they really reproduced something from the fashion show in Paris very quickly in a very cheap way. So 10, 15 years ago, it was cool when you was a student to get so quickly fresh and affordable fashion. So this brand, this identity was very easy to catch, very, very simple. You don't often have to be the best or the most luxurious or the most, I don't know, or the most visible or whatever. If your DNA is cool, clear, in coherence with what you sell, maybe, I don't know all of you, but some of you target a market of very affordable, cheap, fashion accessory, who can be sent easily everywhere in the world. We can be produced for cheap, transport for cheap, and make a lot of benefits on it, on the difference between your production and the quantity you can sell. It can be also a brand, it can be also a strategy, and the DNA still as well important. So if you work tomorrow for a big brand, like I give the example of H&M, most of everything before going to the meeting and say, I have 5 years of experience in fashion. I had my own brand. I also work for another brand. So I have a complete experience of the process. I want to work for you. I know how to design. I know how to organize a retail and quality control and everything. More than this, you have to understand the DNA of the brand before you arrive to the meeting. You have to use the 3 key words or the 3 examples who make the guy or the lady in front of you think, oh, it's clear. This person catch who we are and what we do, where we come from, where we go. So this person understands us, so this person can work for us. Now let's see the skills of this person. So it's as well important when you create your own brand, when you communicate your brand, and even if you want to join another brand or to communicate with other brand. And it can be useful exercises also to understand your clients. If you are used to be very skilled and efficient on catch the DNA of everything, you also can catch what your buyer want, what your clients want, where they come from, what is in 3 words, their targets, their goals. And it can be useful because when you understand your clients, they trust more in you, they see solution in you, they see opportunity in you and in your product. So DNA concept is really something great and something powerful. Also, seen from the outside, still important because, as I told you, you know your story, but people have to understand from the outside without knowing anything about you. They have to understand quickly. Define who you are and build a strong story to tell to the world. When you know who you are, when you know the keys of your communication and where you want to go and what you want to say, you have a story to tell. And I can say for the video I saw of many brands this week, I saw a lot of brands who really understood. They have a story to tell and really tell it quickly in 2 minutes, and it was really enjoyable. Like I saw a lot of seducing story, something I want you to understand, like a little movie in front of me, or be fascinated with, or want to take part of, or identify myself to this story because it's glamorous, because it's fancy, because it's sustainable, because it's different from everything I saw before, or because it's weird and I don't understand exactly what I saw, but it's weird and it's strange, and it tells me a story or something I never seen, or maybe shock me. Okay, you shock me. This is a shocking story, but I get something from your story. You know, I'm not bored. It's not like I see 100 commercial spots before, all the same, telling you you are beautiful, you are great, wear this, wear that. No, you have a strong story to tell to the world. When a brand like Nike, as famous as everybody knows this brand, but Nike have a story to tell. They are always writing their story and rewriting and continue the story with who they do partnership now, for which sportsmen, for which historical moment they was there since the beginning of sports. They have a strong story to tell. So Nike is huge. I don't compare a small brand to Nike, but it's the same for a small brand or for a starter. Even more important to tell clearly a story, because everybody know Nike, so everybody have his own vision about it. Maybe not good vision, maybe not complete vision, maybe old vision, not connected to what Nike do right now, but everybody have a story in his mind. So when the brand is new, is even more important. It's like when you go to cinema, you know, you see like super blockbuster who exists since 10 years, and this is the number 3, number 4, number 10. So you know the story already. You don't have to pay more attention to understand this is the number 4 or this movie. But if it's a total new movie, you never seen before, from a small producer and a director that you never heard before, the trailer have to be very strong. You have to immerse you in something, in some universe. You have to be seduced and to say, okay, I don't know this universe, I don't know this director, I don't know this story, but I want to see it, I want to go to the cinema. It works as well for you. It's fashion, but it's also a story. You don't sell only an item. I think you know, everybody knows that here in the audience. You sell also some dreams, you sell some sensations, some emotion. you sell some vision of the world, you sell some identity, you sell some entertainment, you sell some refresh, news, you sell a lot of things. You sell some services, you sell some attention, special attention you give to your clients. So your client feels special. You don't sell only an item. So the story you tell to the world is super, super important. You have to be clear, you have to be strong. You need also a timeline from the beginning of your brand to the next event and the last collection. And you can be able to continue to write this story if your brand still for 5, 10, 15, 20 years or more. It depends on what you want to do with your brand. And 3, create your own icons. So icons is not, it can be item icons, like what about the Chanel bag? Everybody sees the Chanel bag as an icon, something you can put in a museum, you know? It can be a sculpture now. Everybody can visit it and see, oh, this is a Chanel bag from 1983, who was wearied by this very famous queen in Great Britain, or this famous actor from Hollywood, and he have been gifted to this foundation. So now you see it's clearly an icon. But like I was talking about Nike before, the Air Jordan is also an icon. You know it when you was a kid in the 1980s, but they continue to remake it, and from this famous collaboration with the name of the basketball player, but it's still an icon. You can have a old sneakers Nike from the 1980s you still wearing today. It's an icon. Oh my God, this is a sneaker from 1995 you are wearing there, and they still amazing vintage style. And there is now a new collaboration, maybe some new Nike are on the market, and we saw also a lot of re-edition. You know, you saw big brand, they go just 10 years in the past, they take something they already did who was a bestseller, and they remake it, and they tell you it's a new collaboration, it's a new version, it's a vintage, it's whatever you want, but they create some icon from their own brands. So it can be very cool to understand that you already have to think about it, even if you are a beginner, even if you are just designing your first idea of brand. What can be the best sell in what you do? Analyze what is the best sell, what can become an icon item, sorry, in the future, because you can make a lot of benefits on it. Because when a brand use like a model they create like 20 years ago, it means everything is already rentable, everything is paid, the development, the research, everything is paid a long time ago. They just retake it and make it an icon, and everybody wants it. So it makes a very good marketing, communication, visibility, and also create some strong story in the brain of the people, like, oh yeah, it was these things, and now it's mythic, you know, it's a classic, and they retake it, so I want it. Icons are also, as you know, it can be people like John Lennon or Marilyn Monroe, or famous actor, famous politician, famous historical character are icon in your pop culture, actually. So you can make an item iconic if you make it wear by an icon. Like if a very famous singer who makes music since 20 years is visible with your handbags or your shoes or your dress on the catwalk somewhere in the Cannes Festival or Festival de Cannes in France or anywhere else in the world in a famous festival. You know it's promotion, you know it already, it's very useful for you, but it also helps to create some iconic picture like Lady D with her Lady D bag, we call for her. Now it's an icon. Lady D is dead. It's a glamorous and tragical story. Everybody know it. But everybody keep in mind this famous bag, this picture. So everything become part of history and pop culture now, not only luxury culture, and it become iconic. So the item is iconic, so you can resell it later. So every brand have to think about how to be iconic, how to create from one of the best sell or the best visibility, something iconic in the future. It can really help you as well in your visibility and in your economical results and your rentability in everything. Think in the way to try to be iconic in the future in something. It can be a small thing. It can be a bracelet. You make your brand very famous and very visible on a lot of famous people. It can be, you can be iconic with some concepts, some small items. You don't need to do the best handbag in the world, you know, or the more expensive dress to be iconic. There is very, very expensive dress we have been selling in the fashion history will totally disappear and forgotten by the people. It's not icons, but like some little sneaker shoes from the 80s, as I was talking about, became iconic because they still in a very famous movie on a very famous actor, and they are now part of pop story and pop history and icons. That's it for this slide. So again, we open the question to you. I know I speak quickly, I give a lot of idea. It's difficult to have a question coming quickly to the mind, but it's made for you to be totally full after these 2 hours of meetings. Any question coming? Don't be shy. I like question very much. Otherwise, I have the impression to do my YouTube channel, you know?
I have one question. From your experience,
One second, I don't see you appearing on the screen, so I don't know who is talking to me.
don't look, Anastasia.
Don't look, Anastasia. Okay, thank you very much.
From your experience, how much time does it take for young brand to catch people's attention? Because when you start telling your story, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to spend some time to know the story. So usually, how much time does it take when people start hear your story?
Very good question. There is some brand who have been in the dark for 2, 3, or 5 years before starting to sell something who was visible on the international market. Some other even more. Some other was a startup, and with only one thing, they start to be super famous all over the world in 6 months or 1 year. So there is no rational and clear timeline to give you. But the question behind your question is more interesting, I think, and we can provide you inspiration is, okay, if you decide your goal is to be visible and famous in 6 months or in 5 years, whatever is your plan, okay, if you want to be it as quick as possible, you can watch around you in the last year who passed in your world, in the media, in the politics of the world, in the sports event, in the cinema, in the fashion, in the architecture, in whatever you want. You look at all the news of the past years, and what do you remember from the past year? What was really the strong event of your years 2019? What you keep in mind? Maybe this year will be the COVID-19. And what was it last year? I don't know for you, but in my district in France, I had terrible strike with very violent fight, even more violent than what we saw in Minsk the last week. I mean, our police is not so repressive, but the fight between the police and the Protestants was very violent during 2 weekends. So it was a big event for me. These people was called the Yellow Jacket, and Paris was like a civil war for 2 Saturdays. This was a strong thing to stay in my mind about 2019. Maybe for other people, it would be a sport event, a movie, a new brand, a political election or whatever. But you see, you remember maybe something very strong, and this is now in your brain. So this is already something visible in your universe, in your memory, in your emotion. So what can you do to be as visible as that? Maybe if you want to go fast, you need to shock the people, because you see people when they open TV, the news are very bad, but it keeps your attention. It works. Bad news or strong news or aggressivity, sometimes used in a positive way, can be very efficient to be doing the buzz, you know, when people do scandals, fake scandals. I remember when, like, I don't remember how long ago, but there was this girl, Paris Hilton, you know, like from the Hilton family, she wanted to be clearly a pop culture icon without doing anything, because she was not working, she was not producing any real music, or she was not even especially a good actor, or she was in the jet set for sure, but nobody knew her before in the wide public. And just after one sex tape, just one little sex tape, and it was very well organized. It was clearly marketing for her to be famous, and after to sell everything and to become an influencer and to be invited everywhere and to be really this maybe icon of a stupid rich blondie who never did anything, but she's famous, she's rich, she enjoy, and everybody want to be near her. I think she's not that stupid, but the marketing she sell, that was a stupid blondie. And you see, this sex tape was kind of shocking, especially in America. You know, their culture is very sensible to sex scandals. It is a bit violent, it is provocative, but it was organized. And in a few videos, in a few weeks, you have this person in your brain, and you know who is she, and you know the product, you know the identity, you know the DNA of Paris Hilton, you know the Hilton chain of hotel, you know who is daddy, you know what is the story, you know the jet set, you know she's not working, you know she's rich, you know she have an amazing wardrobe, you know she like to be seen on every festival with famous people who do very, who are genius in creativity, but she's not. So she want to be visible and there, so she had to find her own way. I don't know if it's a good or a bad example that I give you, but it's just an idea to be, if you want to be quick and to be visible, maybe you need to be a bit aggressive and a bit shocking. And I have another thing in mind who come from Ukraine is the female. You know, this woman who protest with naked breast and writing, handwriting slogan to protest. I remember the first time I saw them on TV, in the media. It was just for fun for the media, you know. It was 1 minute at the end of the journal to say, oh, we have something happened during a meeting in Paris today, like people come to protest against DSK, who was supposed to be maybe the president before a scandal in France, and they protest against this man who was very sexist and who was doing harassment on women.
Adrian,
Mhm.
I think we have some problem with the connection. Can you hear us?
Because it was nature, it was like, oh, everybody is blocked on the video. I hope you hear me for a while.
Mhm.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but
From time to time. Mhm. Okay.
Minus mentor.
Okay, we'll wait for a minute.
Adrian now is in Minsk, and I hear that there is some bad connection from time to time.
But do not worry, I hope he will come back. I want to ask you, ask more questions, because Adrian has, as we wrote you before, great experience in Dior and also in Lacoste, making this good
Okay,
collection.
I'm back here. I don't know if you hear me. I had,
Yes, yes.
I don't know if it's me or you, but we had a little internet shutdown. So I was finishing on the, everybody's there, everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, super. I was on the, oh, 1 second, I have to can I come back to the slide here? Where is my slide? Tatiana, I see you in big, but I don't see the slide. Can you help me to come back to it? And quitter le plein écran, and I have it. Is there? Okay, but sorry. After the shutdown, like all the presentation of my screen changed a little bit. So, okay, it's good. Sorry for the interruption. I see everything. So I was finishing with this example about the Ukrainian female. After this short video on the main channel of media television, you know, the identity, the DNA of the female is so well made and so strong. Long blonde hair, flowers in the air, protesting, rising fist like this, shouting and being half naked and writing the slogans and making like a strong intervention with against the law to protest. In 1 second, you understand everything. It's super visible, super strong, super iconic. It's like now everybody in France know who is the female, why they, even if you don't trust in it, even if it's not really important for you, or even if you think it's ridiculous to protest like this, or it's great maybe, everybody know it. The intervention is really strong. The visibility, the codes, the visual, everything is a perfect product in the female. In fact, personally, I don't follow them on a political point of view, but I can say if it was a marketing product, if it's something you want to sell, they was very efficient and very quickly they was interviewed and invited to television because everybody was curious who was this crazy woman. And it was super visual on television, super easy to catch the attention of the spectators. So they have been invited everywhere. I even met one of them randomly in Paris. It was not wish, but I know one of them. I think she's totally crazy, if you want my opinion, but, but they are very talented to make the connection, the visibility in just one short action. And they have some punchline in the slogan, who can be something who inspire you. If you want to be quickly visible, punchline, work on your punchline, what in 1 sentence you want to mark the spirits of the people. It's a very old rules, but if you want to go quick, you have to be a bit violent, a bit provocative. It's also dangerous because if you go straight on the market with punchline and provocative attitude, you can have a reject from the media. Media can say, what is this brand? It's not serious, it's shocking, it's, we don't accept such thing in our country or in our market, it's ridiculous. But there is a very famous artist who is called Andy Warhol. I think you know him. Of course, he was from US and from the West culture, but he's so visible, so I think you know him. Or if you don't know Andy Warhol, just have a look in case, because it's really an interesting artist. He said about media, what media say about you as an artist or as a performer or as a brand. And this man, he was an artist, but he was crazy in love with fashion. He say, I prefer to buy a garment or clothes and to put it on the wall like a painting, and I prefer to buy a garment than a painting. So it was really a famous artist pop culture. And he said something very interesting. He said, don't pay attention about what the journalists and media say about you, just measure it in inches. It means measure how long is the text in the newspaper about you. This is only what matters. It doesn't matter what they say about you. So this is a tips about if you want to go fast, but it's my personal opinion based also on a lot of example I give you, experience, example about communication, fast, quick, provocative communication. I told you about one jet set personality. I told you what about also the Ukrainian political Protestants. And I tell you now about a very famous artist about pop art. So you see it's 3 different fields, different personalities. Some of them are genius talented. Some of them are very smart, but they don't produce anything. So it can inspire you about your question, I think. It's more about that. And if you want to have a strategy and to go more slow and to be based on the quality of your item, on the poetry of the connection you want to build with your clients, on your strong sustainable goals. It works as well. It's just your strategy is maybe based on a longer time, and you can accept to not explode quickly, but to create something different in relation with your visibility, your story, the connection with your clients, and the result, how to be visible on the market later. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I hope it was, I know it's not exactly a direct answer to your question, but
It was much more useful and interesting.
okay, super, great. Let's going on.
Okay, so any questions for now, or we can move on?
I have two questions, if I can.
Okay, who is talking? Because I have,
711.
sorry, I had a bad sound. Can you repeat?
Julia 711.
Okay, great, Julia. Okay.
I have a question about DNA. Can you say a few examples, like what should it be? It is a fibers, it is some clothes, or what it is?
DNA is really the gene, the concept of what is your brand. It means, I said it can be expressed by picture, it can be expressed by words, by sentence, but it's who you are. To give you a concrete example, I was talking about Hermes before. What is the DNA of Hermes for you? Or maybe another brand more accessible. Let's talk about one brand I've been working for not so long ago, who was Lacoste, you know, the French brand with the crocodile. What is the DNA of Lacoste? It's a very famous tennisman just after the World War. It's a crocodile, super famous symbol all over the world. It's also the copy of this crocodile. We heard a lot about it. Everybody know about fake copy about this crocodile on T-shirt and things like this. So it's the sport, but it's not all sport. It's more connected to tennis and golf. It's what? It's the polo, of course. Polo. Everybody, if I say Lacoste, everybody have in mind first of all a polo, but they did a lot of different things. But DNA, Lacoste polo, if I tell you, or polo dress for the woman. It can be, what can be the DNA of Lacoste you have in mind at first? Also, maybe this is more French, but in France, we have a lot of people from the suburbs district, you know, like people who was from immigration, who like streetwear, who was doing some hip hop. They buy a lot of Lacoste, and Lacoste became an identity for them. They can be wear from the, it was in the 90s. They was dressed from the casket to the feet in Lacoste, and in jogging, very sportswear, and it was an identity for them in the suburbs and in the hip hop culture in France. And Lacoste had a problem with it because they don't want to be associated to these clients. They want to be associated to more casual, well-educated, sporty person who go to golf. So they had a dilemma to work on it, on their communication. We can talk about it later. It's another topic about how to organize your identity when you get some clients you didn't expect it before, or the public maybe can take your brand and give it another vision of your brand that you didn't manage to give in the beginning. This can happen in the history of your brand. So about the DNA, concrete example for Lacoste, it would be that. So you see, it's just a street picture. We give you the main idea of what is the brand, what is deeply the brand, where it came from, what do you see, what exists. This is the DNA. So if I should say what is the DNA of 7-Eleven, I don't have all information about your brand. I saw your videos and I love it very much, the last one. I read a little about your text, but maybe I'm wrong. But for me, my vision right now about the DNA of 7-Eleven will be unisex clothes, streetwear, kind of very trendy, avant-garde, not for everyone, like people who are searching for something special to be different from the other. And 7-Eleven is also, for me, in the DNA, there is something mysterious in the name, you know? Why is this two number? I don't know exactly, but it's easy to remember because it's a brand, but it's two number. So for me, the first vision of the DNA of 7-Eleven can be that. And from that, you build your communication and a story. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is not what you want to show about 7-Eleven, but this is what I remember from what I saw last week. This is why it stays strongly in my mind. And there was also this music from, I think, I try to not say a mistake, but I think it's from Beethoven, maybe, who was in the very famous movie, Mechanical Orange, right? From Stanley Kubrick, who was a very shocking movie and famous movie. So everybody remembers this song and you use this song inside your video. So this song has something iconic, so you reuse it for your brand. It was for me, maybe it will be something of your DNA, maybe not, maybe just the inspiration of this collection. Yes, it's just to answer you with concrete example.
So it's just keywords which I can use, not like some fibers or shapes, just words.
It can be words, it can be picture, it can be items, it can be music, it can be visual. It's something who define the deep gene identity of your brand. You cannot talk about Lacoste without the crocodile. So the crocodile is deeply in the gene of Lacoste. It's deeply a picture that is associated to Lacoste in everybody brand and in the story of Lacoste. This is a part of their DNA. So for you, 7-Eleven, it can be also a logo, it can be a picture, it can be your music, it can be, I don't know. There is no clear rules about what it will be, but it will be visible in your brand. That's fair. What is visible in your memory and in your brand is strong picture, strong words, strong sentence, music, mood, event, whatever. An event, an historical event can be in the DNA of your brand. If you are the first brand in history who made a fashion show with music, for example, this is an historical moment, or a fashion show during the war when there was nothing to provide to do a fashion show. It's or a fashion show during a revolution or something very famous, like I remember some kind of event on in China. There is a very famous video I saw in my childhood and we saw all over in the West world, who say China was a strong communist authoritarian regime, and we saw this guy during the revolution who stand in front of a line of 6 tanks. He was this video is iconic now, but such an event can be also connected to the DNA of your brand, because this event, this example I give is not connected to a brand, but to show you even an historical event. Maidan in Ukraine, you like it or you hate, or you love or you hate this part of Ukrainian history, but it's Ukrainian history. And with any political point of view, I give you that Maidan now is an icon moment of the Ukrainian history. And if someone create a brand with based on the idea of freedom, revolution, contesting, protest, fightings, freedoms, and maybe sportswear who are ready for all activity like sports and war and protest and whatever you want, Maidan can become a DNA of your brand, like this vision of the Maidan place and people fighting, the flag of Ukraine. So a part of your DNA can be really anything. You have to understand that. It can be picture, it can be event, it can be music, it can be words, keywords. It can be a iconic item like the Hermes square silk, you know, like it's iconic, everybody knows it, so it's part of their DNA. You cannot think about Hermes without seeing in your brain a square silk. You cannot see, if I tell you the word Nike, you see a sportsman playing football or something like this, or you see a very famous singer with some Nike sneakers. You cannot disconnect it from your brain. It means in the visual you have when I say this word. So it's really a part of the DNA of the brand.
And can I ask about story?
Story, yes, tell me.
The question is, if I have, for example, not really interesting story of creation of brand, should I create it, or it should be like true story?
That's a very good question. I didn't find very good question. Yeah, it's just like when you do, you go to cinema and you see the bio picture. It means this is a movie about the life of someone, like life of Che Guevara, for example, who made the revolution in Cuba. For sure, when they make such movie, 90% of what you see is historical and really exists in the story of they tell. But to make it attractive as a movie and to give some rhythm with the movie, they change some little details. They maybe invent a scene will never exist, or an event will never exist. It doesn't really matter. You can invent also something. You are creative. You create your brand from zero. You create your own identity. So you invented it. So you can tell a true story about, I think about the brand Gorset. They have a strong true story to say about the family business, the traditional clothes of Ukrainian who become something, they try to make it become something more modern now. So they have a story to tell, but you also can add some little glitter or other idea or event who doesn't exist. You can also invent your story. It's not a problem. It's don't make it 100% fake, because the media can attack you. Like, no, we make some research on what your history, like it's 9 events you talk about are fake. We make some research. But it can be also very interesting to put some fake in your story. You are an artist, you can create fake things. Like, this personality, Karl Lagerfeld, he lied when he became very famous in the fashion scene as a person, not only as a fashion designer. He started to lie about his origin. He changed something about his origin, his family, and his where he came from and what he did. Media said it's not totally true what we read in books about him, blah, blah, blah. It's very interesting because he creates some lies about it. He also makes some buzz. Is also people talk about it, or what is true, what is fake. So it's good in communication. And he also makes some mysterious. If you tell a story and 2 things sound fake, or maybe media say 2 things are fake in your story of your brand, okay, it's fake, but why is fake? Is there a mystery, something to hide? Is it a good fake, a bad fake? I don't know. So yes, you can invent a part of your story, no problem. And if you study globally what is marketing, in marketing concept books, it came from real things, but it's also the ability to give you some positive or dreaming vision about things you are, but who are not so glamorous in real, when you see concretely as a result of a brand on a catwalk, on a super attractive model with the good music, the good lights, the good mood, it's super seductive. It's really the item of the brand, it's really the presentation, but we are very far from what is this product when it's making in a factory in Iran or in Turkey. Like, you will see not glamorous guy sweating on a sewing machine, making the production. It's not glamorous at all, but also the creation of the items. Marketing is what do you want to show to be seductive in your communication. So you can say that your I give you a stupid example, but you can tell all your brand and you decide to communicate to say your clothes are made by fairy, you know, in a fairy tale world. Like it's not made in a factory, it's magic. The dress you do are very so magic that they are made from fairy tales, you know, from dust of fairies, you know. It's okay. Everybody know it's fake, but it's a way to communicate, you know. Everybody will remember that your factory is not a normal factory. It's like Santa Claus factory, you know, it's made by dwarf or fairies. You can choose this communication and say, no, we do something so glamorous and so fantastic that it's not made in real world. There is no real factory. Maybe some media will love it. Maybe some media will attack you and find your factory and film your factory and make a report on it like it's not a fairy tale at all. But anyway, it talks about you.
Thank you, Adrien, and thank you for the questions to our participants. We can move, I think, to the next part of our lecture.
There we go. So how to implant your creativity into the collection for designer. Okay, so now we talk concretely about inside your brand. I don't know, some of you make a brand, they are only 2 persons actually, one commercial and one designer. Some of you are maybe a team of 10 persons actually, retail, sellers, creator, designer, staff who are sewing. I don't know how much you are in your company now, depend of your development. But I will talk concretely how to organize things around design. So about creativity, my first line is one, don't give limitation to the creativity team. Okay, there is nothing worse than limited too much your team, because first of all, you have to be creative, you have to be innovating if you can, or you have to also to sell some emotion and dreams to the people. So if you start to tell to your personal designer, okay, do me something not expensive, maybe in a factory, in a cheap factory, and do it in one color, and don't even think about being creative or something else, your designer will leave. Or he will not succeed to propose you something good. Or maybe he will take it as a challenge and propose you something very creative inside it. So don't limitate the creativity of your design team. But in the meantime, if you are the leader of your company and if you develop, point 2, inside your company, create different office, different identity. So if you are just 2, you can play it as a game. You give to each other the different field, and you work in different files, like it's different office working for you, and you put this idea in conflict. Don't think you cannot do it if you are only 2 or 3 or 1 person. But if you are 10, it's even more logical to do it. So inside your company, create some different office or different files. One, for example, for the buyer, one for the commercial, one for the technical designer who create your patterns and sewing machine after the design, one for the people who do the confection, one for the people who supply you with the fabrics, whatever. Make some different office like this, and at the moment you choose artistic directions and the designer made their propositions, they present the collection, but in conflict, in confrontation, point 3, but in confrontation is difference logic to validate a final direction and territory efficient of your final design product on the market. Sorry, this sentence is very long. I'm going to resume it. When everybody made his work, like the designer proposed his collection in your brand, the buyers have a clear idea, or commercial and buyer have a clear idea of what they need to have in the collection: 5 shirts, 2 pants, 3 dresses, not more than 1 in a bag, because we know it's not our field, so we don't sell it to our client. When this team already finish their work, also to propose it, when the technical designer who creates the collection, or the production, maybe who generate your production, also think about the work or finish the work planning, confront all these different office. And then, of course, this in the end will give some limitation to your creativity team, because if the commercial and buyer said, no, You're not going to do a collection with 10 dress because we want only 3 dress, 4 dress maximum after negotiation because we don't sell much dress. Of course, in the end, the creativity team can be limited, but it's a good limitation because it's a limitation we came after their proposition. So they was free to be creative first. And after conclusion and confrontation with the commercial team and with the sellers and with the feedback from the clients and with the marketing, we are going to present the collection. We decide to make in the end, after negotiation, 3-4 dresses. And you have to, but you, designer, you forget to propose solutions about jewelry, and we want a few jewelry to make a complete look for the client. So go back to work and propose a little jewelry. We go with the collection. So I think this is actually a very interesting way to work, to create some confrontation between different offices inside your company. They all have the same target, is to make the brand be great, be rentable, be efficient on the market, be visible. But marketing people, accountant, commercial, buyer, seller, technical designer, producer, and fashion designer, they work for the brand, but they all have their own goals, you know, their own priority, and they are not the same. So they need confrontation. And from this confrontation, you keep what is the more rational and logical, and you make some choice for the direction of your brand to validate your final collection, to validate in which field or territory you sell, if you do men or women or both of them, and what will be the look of your final product, how you're going to communicate it, the video and the shops and everything. From this confrontation, everything we come to some rational result and idea on how to lead your brand and which direction to take and which collection to propose. And it's important to do confrontation, because if you give the leadership only to a designer, you will be super creative, but maybe terrible commercially result, you know? It will be your beautiful collection, but very difficult to sell. Or you, if you listen only the commercial, you will have a super efficient collection to sell on the market to the buyer, but not creative enough, you know, like very boring. If you listen only to your productions, they will go just through a technical solution to produce a lot for a cheap price in a very quick time, but they are not creative or not efficient on the sales. So it's very important to confront these different offices to arrive to your final collection. But in the meantime, at the beginning, don't limit the creativity. It's good to arrive at this meeting with a crazy idea, like maybe impossible to do. We want to do a collection of 100 dresses this year. This is the topic of the collection, the 100, you know, the 100 teeth or whatever. So we want to do 100 dresses. It's a crazy creative idea from the creativity team, from the designer team. Okay, we're going to change it, but let's start with this idea. Start to design 100 dresses and we will choose, you know. It can be like this. And last point, market is the only true reality. Yes, of course. But story and design can write the future of the market. It means, in the end, after you decide, after this confrontation, your collection, your destination, your marketing, and everything. Of course, you can have success on the market, or you can fail and realize you mistake, you go wrong in something and the results are not so good. So next collection, you have to adapt. You have to get the feedback from your client, to get the feedback from your buyers, and to change a little bit your strategy or your collection to get more success or more visibility. So of course, in the end, only the market decide. If you want to sell wedding dress in a country where the wedding value and the family wedding value is crashing down, like almost nobody marry in the next 10 years, the market decide you can't do wedding dress. That's the reality of market. Even if you are a super talented person in or designer in wedding dress, even if your company have all the production ready to do the best dress, best wedding dress, best quality and the best price, if the market answer no, the market is a reality. But opposite to that, story and design can write the future of the market. So we talk about the story to tell, we talk about the DNA, we talk about the design creativity. But if you arrive on the market with something really, a great innovation, like remember the first sneakers who was clothing without lace. I don't remember when they created, maybe in the 70s, the first time. It was sneakers, but you close them with scratch or with a disc or without the end, just a button and it pressed like this, your feet. It was an innovation. And when this innovation came on the market from the brand, after, everybody wants sneaker who goes without lace. It was super efficient, it's comfortable, it's streetwear, it's fashionable at this moment. So the market answer, because the clients, everybody saw the sneakers, everybody wants it. So the market say, now people want sneaker without lace. And every brand start to copy each other. From the first, we did the sneakers without lace, and every brand copy his own style in sneaker without lace or shoes without lace or other concept like this. So this innovation changed the future of the market. So you get results from the market and your client and your feedbacks and your results, but you also can influence the market if you propose something really fresh that next year maybe everybody wants because they saw it weared by a super famous actress, or maybe because it's super technically innovation and people like it, and all the people and the client want it. It gives a solution in life of the people. When the army created the first underwear was very isolating for the mountains conditions or to go skiing, or when the NASA, the US or the Russian, I don't remember the name in Russia of the department who work on a spatial development and progress and who made the robots who have been on the moon. But when this department scientist creates some innovation, like the GPS, for example, the GPS have been created from the research of the spatial research, but the clients in the world on Earth, they find a very good solution. GPS was a great solution, so everybody wanted. So there is a new market bubble, and the market is changing, and now and GPS is included in your smartphone. Everybody's smartphone is in your day-to-day life. So innovation, design can change the market. After the owner of the brand Apple, I just forget his super famous name right now. Maybe someone can help me. Who is the main founder of Apple? Someone remember?
Steve Jobs.
I didn't hear.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Thank you very much. I just forget his name for 1 minute. When Steve Jobs been very innovating in create a seductive, beautiful design of outside the computer, when at that time computer was very ugly, efficient but super ugly. And when it take consideration that it will be inside your house, and in the future, in the very near future, it will be in every house. So if it's ugly, it will sell less than it's if it's beautiful, and it start to work on the color and the shape and the design. And it become the DNA of the Apple brand to be seductively designed with nice color and beautiful shape and very fashionable. It becomes the DNA of the brand, and it's changed the market. After on the market now, we have to consider that the market we ask for beautiful computer and beautiful smartphone on a design way, on the aspects for the outside. Before, nobody cared. Before this innovation, everybody wants just a computer, like very strong computer, but they don't care about if it's cute, if it's nice, if it's pink, if it's blue, if it's fashionable. If someone famous makes some photo with his computer, nobody cared before. But now, when famous people do some Instagram with the latest smartphone, everybody care and everybody wants this color smartphone. So you see, creativity, design, and story to tell and innovation can also lead the market. You are not a slave of the market only to do wedding dress when your country have a lot of weddings. That's it for this slide. Maybe some questions.
Don't be afraid to ask Adrien. Okay, if nobody wants to ask, let's move.
Okay, let's go. Next one. How to make the real thing from your fantasy. Okay, point one, everybody can make a nice draw, a nice collection idea. Point two, not everybody can make it exist in real life. Point three, impose your vision and your version of fashion and elegance to the world. Impose it. Finally, people will desire it or not. And I insist on the or not because it's very important. Maybe you think this sentence is weird because I give you an advice at first, a tips, I say, or an order, I say impose your vision and your version of fashion and elegance to the world. It means you lead, you say elegance is that, fashion is that. Finally, people will follow you and like what you do or not. And it doesn't matter if they don't like you. What is important is you have been a leader, you have been creating something, and some people will follow you and some other won't. But it's not that important. The important thing is you get the direction. It's connected to what I told you in the first slide. What is the worst things for a brand is when this brand start to lose their self-confidence and to go in multiple directions without strong ideas, strong results, strong identity, strong DNA. It's terrible results in terms of marketing, visibility, and sale, and durability of the brand and credibility of the brand. So I repeat what I said on the first slide. And I tell you now, maybe these questions you or everybody know here in the audience today that everybody can make a nice draw or a nice picture or have a great collection idea, but not everybody can make it exist in the real life. It means all the world and energy and fight and night of working without sleeping it took you to create your brand. You all know about it. So it means every woman when she's 14-year-old wants to be a princess or a supermodel or a fashion designer. I don't know in Ukraine, but in France it's like this. But maybe in Ukraine they want to be a princess first or something like this. And then you know, not everybody can make it happen in real life because having a vision, everybody loves fashion, but not everybody is ready to work night and day to create something in fashion. And I see it every year. Every year, you know, we have a private, very expensive school in Paris. So of course there is motivated students in this school, but there is also for even French or foreigner students who come here just because the family is rich and they say, what do you want to do? Oh, I want to be a fashion designer. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the expensive school in France. 10,000 euros per year. And they don't give you any meter of fabrics. So let's come to this business. So in the classrooms, there is 30% of super talented students, super motivated, rich or not. There is 30% who can do it. They will make a good job, but they not gonna work in fashion after because they have other topic. And there is 30% they are there, they don't know why. They just have money. What happens there is, you know, the price of a lot of work to create fashion. So this can be an advice for beginner, you will tell me, like to understand your designer about to work in fashion and the reality to make a brand exist or create a collection. From that, when you already get this point and you create your brand and everything, when you take a direction, don't be shy, impose your vision, say, look about fashion, look about very famous fashion designer or artistic director. Sometimes they was super wrong. They made some terrible, ugly collection with bad results in their career sometimes, but they also make a lot of successful collection with great ideas. But when they present their collection, when they work in one way, they don't say, oh, I think maybe fashion will be that. Do you like my collection? Do you like the color I use? Or modestly, I think I can influence a little bit the history of fashion with this collection, but I'm not sure. I will wait to see what the media say. No, you never heard that. Never, ever, ever. The guy arrived and he say, I do that. and it's my stuff and it's great, and it took a lot of hours to do it, and we try to innovate and we try to make it great, and believe me, it's fantastic, and this very famous person already follow us, and you know, my best friend, who is a super jet set famous person, came to the showroom before the collection. I showed them and she helped me to go in one direction because she had a great idea. Or we get inspiration from this super famous artist and we go to that direction because we think actually the DNA of our couture house is to go in that way. And we want to change some rules. This collection is also a message of protest against this idea. They always arrive with a strong direction, strong communication, punchlines. It's always a direction, and they always redefine what is fashion, elegance, what is cool, what is not. But they are not gods, you know, they don't have the super science. They just do their job and go in one direction. You can say, it's fantastic, I adore it, I follow you, I want to buy it, I'm a big fan of what you do. Or you can say, it's shit, I hate it, you are such a pretentious, this collection, I don't give a shit about this connection, it's really ugly. And you propose nothing new to the world. Whatever, this is a reaction of the public, this is the reaction of the media, this is the reaction of a lot of different people. But at your scale, you don't have enough money to buy the media and to tell them, hey, I know the director of Cosmopolitan, Vogue, and I had it on the phone, and it's gonna make a great article on my brand, and everything is gonna go fine. Only big brand can do that actually. They have the connection, so they present to the media. If they have some good connection with the media some good articles, then they become the collection become famous and everybody love it. It's not fair, but it's like this. So when you are a smaller brand, you have to lead and go to your own direction. You cannot please everyone. It's impossible. And it's not your goal to please everyone. Your goal is to have enough clients and people to identify what you do, love it, and follow you and buy and make your brand develop and works. So of course, if you have a very bad result, you understand by yourself the direction is not the good one, but maybe it's not the good one actually in that time, in that place, in that city, or in that market, and maybe it's a very good idea on the Chinese market. So who knows? So this is very important, yes, because when you are a designer, you are like artists, you know, you want everybody to love you and to love what you do because you spend a lot of hours, you put all your heart in it, all your energy, and you want in return some affection and consideration from the audience and the media and the public. And if it's terrible, if you spend 2 months to create a collection or 3 months, and you read an article in the media, we say it's shit, because you know it's not shit. You put quality fabrics, you put sustainable things, you pay well your worker, you respect the taxes system of your country, you create something new, you please some clients, you give some solution. You know it's not shit, but some media can write it's shit. So it's terrible situation. So be ready. You cannot please everyone, and people will desire your item or not. And if it's I know, I think it's a story I read in a book about the founder of Louis Vuitton. Historically, the first creator of Louis Vuitton. What I tell you right now is not exact, it's just a remember about his story in a book, but he was, I don't know if it was him or his concurrents. Anyway, just the main idea to catch. It was a guy who was doing fashion, expensive dresses, and a woman arrived in a salon. One time a woman arrived, I think she was from America, from a very rich youth band, so she can be a super client, she can make a lot of orders, you know, like the kind of client you want to have in your showroom. She arrived and she said, oh yeah, I like the collection, but I want it to be more like this, like that, in my shape and long like this, and I want this color. And the answer of this designer was, okay, who you are? Okay, so can you get out of my showroom, because I don't give a damn about your opinion, and I don't work for clients like you. So the woman was like so offended that she come back to her youth band and say, it's a scandal. I've been to the showroom and they don't give attention to me and they refuse to create the dresses I want and they don't even try to send me anything. They are not serious, you know. And in fact, the day after, the youth band came to the couture house or to the shop. He met the designer and he said, "Oh, thank you very much, ma'am. I don't know who you are, but you are the first one who say no to my wife. And thank you very much for that." So it's super important because you will tell me it's a stupid decision because it maybe lost a very good client in the market, but it also make an amazing punching communication. Like he decide who he designed for. That can make his name and his house super famous. He refused a very expensive client because for him, the identity and the quality of what the house proposes is stronger than the client desire. It's very risky, it's provocative, it's kind of thing who can make you famous quickly or not at all, or make you scandalous, but it's a very interesting position. So this is an example to give you some inspiration and some comfort to not be personally aggress when some people don't like what you do on some media, make a terrible article about your brand. Keep going. You know what you do, you know why you make it, you know you are able to reconsider the work or the direction of what you did, and to consider by yourself you made a bad collection this year, you had a wrong idea, or you underestimate your client desire, or you can make it by yourself. You work on this every day, but don't let the people around or even what is nonsense. Everybody in marketing will tell you analyze the market and do what the client wants. Yes, right. But you do fashion. You don't do something like food. You know, like it's not like the people need pasta, so you provide pasta. You know, it's like you do fashion. So you can also refuse to do something when glamorous is not your field. If you are in a conceptual streetwear, you will not accept to do glamorous dress because it's not your thing, it's not your identity. And even if I propose you a lot of money for that, maybe it's better to refuse. That's all for that slide. Maybe some question about it.
We have some time limit for today. I mean that, of course, if somebody have some quick questions, we can ask. But if not, we can move on to hear more from Adrien, more interesting things.
I hear no questions, so I will start the next slide. Here we go. Don't worry, if you have questions, we'll come later. We will talk about it later. Making process of collection is structure. We have to see, point one, we have to see that on each specific case of brand, phase, teach, success, teach. So I explained that I cannot give the structure and the making process of a collection for everybody. You clearly understood that from all the slides before, I guess. This is why I say it's specific for each case of brand, but later with the winner of the contest, we will have some personal meeting to work, especially in the case of your brand. But I say fail, teach, and success, teach. Both of them teach. When you do a great show on a great collection and you have some results, you know you are going in the good way and people want to communicate with you, want to tell you why they love it. So it teaches you a lot if you know how to listen after your success. It's not only to see, I had some good economical results this year, I have a very good feedback from my fashion show or my showroom or my new shop. It's also, okay, why people like it? Can I listen to the people now and to have their feedback? Why it was a success? And also, of course, you know it since you are a pupil at school, like fail, teach. When you miss something, you don't like this experience of fail, but it teaches you a lot on what to not do again and what to change. Two, it's directly in link with many different levels and aspects of the brand. So we talked about it before. It's of course your making process collection and the structure of your collection will depend of all the level of we talked about it before, the definition of your history, your DNA, the conflict inside your brand between the designer creativity and the buyer and the seller. Every this different step and level of your work influence the making process of your collection and the structure of your collection. Point three, fashion is not a democracy, but it has to look and taste like it. Okay, I don't know how you understand this sentence, but I'm going to explain first and maybe you have questions. Fashionism, it's a bit provocative sentence, of course, it's not totally true. Why fashion is not a democracy? It's because you mention it, but and more every year with the mass communication, with instant time, with Instagram communication and internet and egeries. Fashion is not a democracy because you mentioned that most of the people are very influenced. They say they love fashion, but everybody wants the same thing in the meantime. Everybody wants the same handbag in the meantime and the same shoes. And this is people we call maybe fashion victims, but they are part of your clients maybe. And so when you, but it have to look and taste like a democracy, because when you go on the super mall to do some shopping on the main shopping street of the city, or if you even go on internet to do some shopping, you have the feeling today, especially with internet who connects you to the entire world, you have the feeling that you have an unlimited choice. You can have the color of the moment, of the shape of shoes of the moment, but you also can find the opposite. You have amazing choice. There is everything everywhere in every country provided non-stop. So it looks like a democracy. It looks like you have the choice. But mostly the global cell, the people want the same thing in the meantime. So this is not a complete true story, but it's part of the truth. And the fashion spend a lot of energy. The fashion industry spend a lot of energy to give you a lot of choice, but in fact, they make 80% of the profits of 20% of what they produce. So it means that everybody buys the same thing, the same item in the meantime to make the commercial result. So there is like something ambivalent in between these two ideas. A maximum choice, non-stop, unlimited choice, but we have to make some best sell. So if you do some best sell, it means that one item is more sell than much more sell than the other. So of course, you as a brand specifically, you can answer me, Adrien, you are totally wrong on this aspect, because we create a brand, we identify what kind of clients we want, and all clients, they want to be different. They want to be outcast. They don't want the same handbag as everybody, or they want some sustainable clothes with respecting the environment. So you're going to tell me, no, not with us, or clients. There is different client for everyone. And some clients want something specific in your brand. This is why we don't try to copy the mass market, or we don't try to copy what the most famous brands make as best sell. It's true. Also, there is not only truth in that, but this idea of totalitarian system is fashion also exists in a way. So I think it's good to consider this aspect. That's it for this slide. If any questions. Okay, we keep going. Tatiana?
You can move on. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ageries and Instagram generation. I don't know why you put older on the side of Ageries. Maybe this is a better translation, Tatiana, when you correct me. On the side of the word Ageries, you put older. I will catch the...
I think ageist is a very interesting word, so I think we'll really on it.
Okay. I just check the translation. The literate plus âgé. Okay. Ageries. Okay. Get it. And Instagram generation. So égéries and celebrities, why it works. So we was talking before about the icons, and we say the icons can be an item, but the icons can be people, can be a historical event. John Lennon is an icon, Marilyn Monroe is an icon. Maybe today Eminem is an icon as well in hip hop. Lady D was an icon of glamorous, and we can continue like this all night. Why it works? Honestly, you can find some very interesting books about analyze the subconscious and the psychology of the people, why they love the stars, why they are fun, why they follow the star, why they try to copy the style of their famous favorite singer or actor or whatever. I don't have a complete answer, but we know it works. So every time a brand spends for free very expensive items to some TV presenter, singer, cinema actor, and everything, you know, it gives some result. We all know it. So this is not something you can ignore. So you have to consider in your design and also marketing process to have some égérie who wear your clothes. You know, it helps you a lot. So I saw some brand who said we have this famous singer and this famous actor who wear our brand. It's good because it was a Ukrainian or maybe Russian name, so I have to search a little bit because I am not very. Unfortunately, we still cut in the West Europe about the Russian culture about entertainment. It means the movies or the actor or the jet set celebrity or the musicians. We don't know them. It's super rare that the musician from East Europe or Russia arrive visibility on the West market. We receive a lot from America and England, and South America, sometimes a little bit African influence we have also, but it's very rare that musician or actor or movie production arrive on the French market or even some other European countries, except when you go off a movie festival about Iranian or Russian cinema. That is very specific because you want to discover that culture. But so it's very important to use égéries. And of course, if you want to go on the European market, you have to catch the European égéries. It won't work with Russian égéries, or difficult. Except if you dress up Putin because everybody saw him on the television in France. But like it's one of the rare strong personality we see in the media in France about the Eastern Europe culture. Unfortunately, in my personal opinion. This is why I travel a lot in Eastern Europe, because I found always something new and exotic here that I never heard about in my country. Does anybody know how fashion works? I like this question because since I'm 17 years old, or no, 16 years old, I study fashion, I read books, I draw, I'm passionate about it, I follow fashion show since my 16. So I told you that I have like 12 or 13 years of efficient full-time working in fashion industry, but I started to be passionate by it when I was 16, let's say. So it's a long time ago. And I never get the answer about that question. If you want to know how fashion works, I can give you a lot of examples, a lot of rational concept and mechanics, how to make a brand, how was the history of fashion, but how fashion works, it's a mess, you know, it's a mystery, like how this color or this collection this year or this celebrity or égérie or this bag or not. Even if the big brand creates some very strong strategy to decide in advance what will be a success and what will be sold, and give orientation to the media to follow them and make what we call industry of fashion, because it's very organized. They succeed in it. They can create big sales from zeros and can create icon from zero. But in the end, always something happens, and you never know, you know, you never know who will be the best musician who will mark the history of music. It's a big mess, and in the end, one take out of the crowd, and it happens. So I still don't know exactly how fashion works, and it's cool. It's a great mystery, and I like it. Otherwise, I think I will leave that job already, because I will be super bored if I know exactly how it works and how it will happen next year. Point 3, please don't ask me what will be the trend or color next year. I didn't choose yet could be the more rational answer. Okay, it's a bit provocative. You are all designer here, but you see what I mean. Since I study fashion, people ask me, "Oh, you are in fashion, Adrien, at the family dinner, like a family reunion on Sunday. Oh, you are in fashion. Oh, great. Oh, you've been working for this house. Oh, great. So can you tell me next year what is the color, or next collection, because you work 1 year in advance?" Then I hated that question on my life. I don't know about you, but me, I hate it. I fucking don't know. And even if I know or have an idea, I'm not sure. And it's also like confidential property of the brand I am working for anytime, or my own brand. I don't want to tell in advance what I'm going to do. So I like to answer, I didn't choose yet. Maybe I'm very provocative or pretentious, but it means fashion is what the designer decides. And maybe you will succeed, maybe not. If you choose blue for the main collection next year, and if blue become a main color, you succeed. If it didn't, you fail. But whatever you choose, you don't know in advance exactly. And this is why I think it's provocative, but it could be the more rational answer from a designer. And this is just an idea to express about all this concept of fashion, essaries, how fashion works, what will be the next trend, what will be the next collection. We don't know. And in the title, I'll talk about the Instagram generation. So Instagram, 2-point definition, narcissist new religion. We can all talk about it when we saw a lot of Instagram profile where we are thinking this person is super famous, or this person has the best life on earth when you look at her or his Instagram profile. Or if it's not a narcissist new religion, maybe it's the best MLM efficient spy tool ever created. Like, you can tell me Facebook as well. KGB try for decennies to have information on everyone in real time. So what people do, what they like, where they go, and to have all these files. CIA do is the same thing on the other side in US. And they didn't succeed because we are too numerous, it's too complicated. They have to focus on a few people. But we like to joke and to say Facebook and Instagram did it. They succeed because they make the people work for you. People every day in real time give all the information about their taste, their life, where they are, what they buy, what they eat, if they are in couple or not, which restaurants they go, what food they like, what holidays they advise. Everybody become a YouTuber or a blogger or an influencer. Everybody is an influencer, actually, Every time I go out in Paris and I ask you a person, what are you doing? I am an influencer. Oh, okay, you're an influencer, interesting. Okay, so an MLM, I don't know if you know it, it's multi-level marketing. It's a concept with not applied to fashion, but with very trendy the past 4 years, let's say 5 years, maybe more. Everybody, it's on every tongue about business. It's if you don't know the basic concept of MLM, to give you an example, do you know this brand? I think it's a French brand or German brand. I'm not sure. Tupperware, Tupperware. It's box for food. It's plastic box for food, and you can you have different shape, and you put the food in and you put in the fridge. There is now many brands who provide it, but before there was this one of the first famous official brand was Tupperware, and the concept of selling of Tupperware, and it was a long time ago already. They was the first to do some MLM, multi-level marketing, is to organize a meeting. The brand sell you some box, And they tell you, if you organize a meeting with your friends and your family, you show your product and you get some order from your family and your friend to have the same box in their fridge, we give you some free box or some money to buy some more boxes. So we pay you, in fact, or we pay you with a gift. That have been working very well for 20 years, and I think it's still working like this for this brand. So you call your aunt, your sister, your stepmother, and you say, look at this amazing box I put in my fridge for the food. It's easy to wash in the dishwasher. The color are very nice. So it's so useful. It goes quick. And then you become a seller for the brand and you sell for the brand. So MLM marketing is this idea developed on a internet scale, business scale. It means that your clients become also your seller and your marketing provider, and everybody sell to everyone. And in the end, it's like a pyramid and you receive the income from everybody like this going to the top. But everybody on each level receiving a part also advantage of the income. So maybe my explication is not totally clear and true, but it gives you an idea for people who don't know what is MLM. So why I say MLM about Instagram, or is it because the people, they show you for free, they take some time to take picture. It's a journalist work. Some people are paid for that, but they take their smartphones, they do picture and they say, it's the best restaurant ever, go to that restaurant, and they make a video with super positive because they are with their relative and they have some good time and they are drunk. So the communication is super positive. So they work for this restaurant actually. They make the promotion, but they do it for free. So it's very interesting to do this kind of concept. Can receive all the information of all the people for free. Of course, everybody knows that Facebook or Instagram, they sell this information to brands or to sellers, and it's very expensive information. When something is for free, it means you are the product, you know. So when they give you Instagram or Facebook for free, it means they make money on you. So I think it's very interesting to use this tool today and to consider this tool as important is fashion show, having agery, communicating with the good canal, with the videos, the shops, the pop-up. It's also super important to use, of course, the social network media. And why it's important is because the people work for you in that field. When your client promotes your brand with photo and and become influencer and have 10,000 followers, they promote you for free. So of course now all this become professional. So people want to be influencer and YouTuber because they understand they can get money from that or they can get gift from that. So maybe you can make a deal with some regular client to make them some gift because they have 10,000 followers, and you know if they give 2 days for free, you're gonna sell 200 dress after it. So you have to consider this aspect, and I think, but it's my personal point of view, it's very near to the MLM solution that a lot of companies are studying actually. That's it for that slide. Any questions? Sorry, I need to drink because I talk a lot. Here we go. Okay, it's 2 hours, but we can, if you are available, I still free. We can continue. I don't know what is your timing rules.
I think it depends on your free time because.
Okay, today you are lucky. I am not working for my company today, so I have more time. So here we go. Let's continue. Okay, fashion show and commercial collection. Canal to present the brand. So I was talking about it in the previous slide. Canals mean how to present your brand, how to do your marketing. So every of you made some super nice video that I saw last week. This is a canal, and I believe in it. On the last lecture we made in Kiev, I talk a lot about it. I promote some video, and I tell to the audience that I really believe that quick YouTube video, Instagram video, whatever where you show them, but video is really a super powerful today canal of presentation for the brand, because you have the picture, you have the colors, you have the music. You can easily communicate some sensation and emotion to your clients. And today everybody can have access to a movie maker quality video set. It's super affordable. It just takes time, or find someone who is talented to playing with these video makers. But keep in mind that 20 years ago, it was impossible. You have to spend a huge money to have a video movie maker who make something for you. Today, people with 300 euros, they make an amazing video. So sorry, I'm talking in euro, what is very near to dollar, just a little bit more. So I hope I'm clear when I talk in euro. Okay, so the canal of presentation. So I talk about video. Of course, we have the classical fashion show. We exist in the 19th century now, I think. For your cultures, the first man in history who present a fashion show was called Charles Frederick Worth. I think it was in 80 something, an 1870 something century. He was the first one who decided to put the dress on some model, because at this moment model didn't exist. The concept of professional model didn't exist. So he decided, okay, it's not anymore the client who arrived to my showroom, what we call showroom today, and who tries the dresses and we adjust the dresses on the client. It's the client are going to come, they're going to sit down on some chairs in a big room, and then I will choose some girls who are going to wear my collection, walk in the middle, and present it to the client. Then the client can see, order the number of the dress, and then after we adjust the dress on the client. So he was, sorry, the first one to do that. Just a part of history to understand what is the very most basic old-fashioned way to present a collection to a fashion show is super expensive. All of you know about it. Is now very old, and nobody forbidden you to innovate something new on the way to present your collection. Actually, the COVID-19 forced very famous brand to change their way to communicate and to make some different ways, some like 3D fashion show or video fashion show or whatever, because it was forbidden to do a fashion show. So everybody started to be creative. I really love that moment, because in that moment, okay, we cannot do a fashion show. What are we gonna do? Everybody panic, you know, like, but there is so many other ways to present your collection. It's a very good opportunity that we can change a little bit now and be more creative on how to present a collection, and not obliged to spend $10,000 organizing a fashion show in New York or Paris or Milan, you know. So I think it's a really interesting way to choose your canal. And I lost my slide.
Sorry, because of its connection, the connection.
Okay, no problem. I can continue. So it's if everybody hear me, yeah. Okay. It's very important to choose your canal, and there is many canals. You can have the shop, the pop-up store, you can have the fashion show, you can have the video, you can have the social network, you can have some special event you create with your clients, some invitation to your showroom. You can create specific event will never exist before. You can create exclusivity to invite a few best clients you have to some private event. You can create many way and many canals to present your brand to the people. Don't limitate you on that, and search on all the aspects. And the good point of our generation right now, if we have free access to a lot of media contents, and we can also sprint our contact for almost nothing with totally new. So use it maximum. And I can check the slide on my computer too, but if I do it, I will not see you in the meantime. Wait a minute.
Got now. I just
sorry.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's back. Yeah, great. Wait, Here we go. We are here. Great. Canal to present a brand. Okay, I talk about it. Classic Way and Data World. So I just talked about it too. Classic Way is a fashion show and the shop, and Data World is a numeric world and social media. Expansion of internet business, I told you as well. This is really a chance we have today, and you must use it, especially if you want to sell abroad. Importance to be physically, in the meantime, importance to be physically present in customer sensorial and emotional experience. It means even if you use all the social media, the videos, the data worlds to communicate your collection, and even if it's very efficient, it's very important to remember the item you create have a physical existence, and they are made to be on the body, and we are physical. And this is also the way with fashion that you give to your client and customers sensorial and emotional experience. Sensorial means when you are wearing a very light linen on cotton dress on summer, and you work in the field and you feel the grass on your legs, it's a very sensorial experience that you give because of your clothes, because of the fabrics, because of the smell, because of the design of your body, the point that the garment fit on your body. You know, as a man, I've been wearing some kilt with, you know, the Scottish skirt for the men. It's a great experience when you are a man. Like, it's the first time in your life you don't have a pants, you know, you feel super free. And it's a sensorial experience even as a man. Like, okay, skirt are for the girl, but as a man, I can wear a men's skirt, like a Scottish one. And it's really cool, it's comfortable. Then why the men don't have much skirts, you know, in the wardrobes? So it's a sensual experience and emotional as well, because I teach you nothing if I tell you as a woman, you don't feel the same emotionally when you put on your sneakers and joggings to go chill on the Sunday afternoon in the shopping mall, or if you put on a very romantic dress with lace on the back that you cannot breathe, you cannot eat, you cannot sit, but you feel super glamorous with it. So you have a different sensorial and emotional experience. And when you put on your most sexy underwear before you go to the date with your man, you also have a very special sensorial and emotional experience in your bathroom that you feel very attractive and sexy. So we sell fashion, we sell it, we sell all these experiences. It's the same where for a man, when you put on your suit and you see you in the mirror before going out and you say, oh, damn, I really look like an elegant man right now. So it's all this experience. So use the social media, the video, but don't forget in the end, the people don't need only to live from the image to fantasy the experience. They need to feel it in the end. They need to live the experience in real. They need to wear the wedding dress at the wedding. They need to wear the miniskirt. They need to wear the suit or the scarf for the man. It's an experience with physical and emotional. So stay focused on it. I think it's super important. Maybe one day we will lose that. Maybe we will have some projection of garments in 3 dimensions. So in fact, we will wear the same jogging all year, but the color will change and the visual will change. But for now, we still in concrete garment and an emotional experience and sensorial. How to optimize the presentation, fashion show and pop-up store. So this is the work you have to do as a young brand. This is how to spend less money and to have much result. So let's give the example of the pop-up store. Is very interesting concept with used by a lot of brands now, is to open a shop, to make an event around it, to communicate in the media, but this shop will exist like 1 month or 2 months. The idea is to make an event, new connection, new clients. They see the items, they come, they try it, they buy maybe. And then you are visible in that city for 2 months in a very fancy district, but you don't have to pay the rent all year of this shop, the charge of this shop all years. and you don't have to make permanent event or to change the design of the shop every 2 years to keep it new. No, you do like one shot, you put a lot on communication, on event around it, and you make a good marketing communication. So that's one example. Pick up MLM concept marketing. I talked about it before. I think it's really interesting today to have an eyes on it and to understand what MLM is. If you like it, you apply it. If you don't like it, you feel it's cheating on your clients and you don't like this concept, don't apply it, but you know what you're talking about. So it's really interesting to know also about it. And that's it for that slide. Maybe you have questions. No question?
I have one question.
Oh, great. This is Anastasia from Dondrunk, right?
Yes. Does it make sense to make a separate collection, podium collection and commercial collection for young brand? Does it works?
Personally, I really believe in that concept for every brand today, because it's really an interesting way when you have like the main collection and you do like we call a capsule collection on the side. Like imagine you have your main, you have your line, you have shop in different city of Ukraine, you are a brand, you exist in 6 years, you have your regular client, you know your result, everything is okay, everything fine, but you want to develop. It's really interesting. Maybe you will realize it's not efficient to sell the collection you sell actually in Ukraine, in Spain, you know. Maybe it doesn't work. It doesn't work with the spirit of the people there. It doesn't work with what the market wants. It doesn't work with the weather, with the budget of the people. I don't know, but maybe it doesn't fit with the Spanish market. What actually is a success on the Ukrainian market. So at this time, it will be very interesting to do a small capsule collection. It will be a challenge to answer to the Spanish market. What will be your goals, for example, next year? But you don't want to invest too much. You will not open shop in Spain right now. You will go maybe to a fashion week or open a little showroom or a pop-up store for summertime. So it will be really interesting to challenge yourself, your brand, with a capsule collection. It doesn't mean you don't know where you go. It doesn't mean you lost your destination. It's just you make a first attack on the market and a first strategy and a first try to have a feedback with the client. And you work in advance how to analyze this market and make a capsule collection oriental and understandable for the client of Spain and for the weather and for the market and for the spirit of the people there. One thing, we're going to talk about it later. We will have occasion to do it on one-to-one meetings, but you will see the biggest separation in the Slavic culture. So when I say Slavic culture, it's from Estonia to Ukraine, considering all Russia and Belarus, and maybe a little part sometime of Poland and in Germany, still some roots there. But let's say Slavic words. There is for the woman, for example, and even for the man, a very specific vision about what is a femininity, what is a beauty, or for the man, what is the role of the man, how we should dress and behave in the society, which can be very different when you arrive and you discover the West European market. You can be surprised. This is about culture and tradition and evolution of society and politics and economy. Everything leads to that different culture. But you will be surprised that the definition of the femininity in Ukraine is absolutely not the definition of the femininity in France. Or maybe some points are very common and some other are very different. So maybe you will consider that your collection actually in Ukraine doesn't fit with the French or the Spanish or the UK market, I don't know. So this is why I really believe in site collection, capsule collection, pop-up store to try explore the market and to go step by step to make some experience in connection with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I have a question. May I ask?
Olga from Gorset,
Olga
right?
Garcia, yeah. So is it better to make a collection for young audience or adult audience up to 35 years old? What do you think about it?
You mean in general or in specific countries?
In general, yeah.
For all the world market, you mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm really unable to answer to you, because decide about the age of your audience mean analyze the market, the country, the demand of the clients in that country. I mean, if you sell in South America, when most of the population is under 30 years old, if you target a young audience, you have concretely a numerous quantity of people in Brazil who are young is huge. And maybe people actually in some South America countries, the medicine is not so good. So all people don't live very old. So maybe it will be more complicated to target the senior, you know, or you will on a rational point have potentially less clients. If you go to sell in Russia, for example, we have a strong tradition around family value. I think it's very efficient to target the child, because people spend a lot of money for the child. Family is sacred. Wedding is something sacred. But if you arrive in France, you will realize we have 60% of divorce. And maybe is it better to target teenagers or young people or older people? But what do they want? Are they married or not? Do they have child or not? You know, like it's really the analysis of the market who give you answer to your audience.
So if I understand correctly, it depends on the country where we want to sell our clothes.
Exactly, and it depends on the country and the market of this country and how you analyze it. Which information you get back from this market. If you sell in Dubai, where it's mostly more than 45 degrees in summer and the rest of the year minimum 20 degrees or 25, something like this, for sure you're not. It's a stupid example I give you, but you're not gonna sell fur coat in that country except in a private apartment with a super air conditioner. So it's a stupid example, but it's just to give you that really your market, your country, and the situation will answer to you.
Well, thank you so much, Adrien.
You're welcome. So, other question? No? Okay, we go to the next slide.
Yes, right here.
It's my favorite slide, you know. The title is not from me. The title was a proposition from NFZ. And at that moment on that slide, okay, I had just one answer because I made a lot of slides before, and I remember the meeting was 2 hours. And when I read pre-collection, main collection, capsule collection, the difference in design and structure of collection feature and complexity. It's really a great topic and it's a great question. But my answer is, do we have some more coffee? Because we're going to finish at midnight, you know? Like it's a super good question. I try to answer about it in all other slides. So this is why I don't give a total slide for this one. And also it's difficult to, once again, to answer globally to this question. So we talk about pre-collection, we talk about main collection, we talk about capsule collection 2 minutes ago. The difference in design and structure of collection, we gave a lot of example about it in the previous slide. Feature and complexity, we understand by all the aspects we study together today that it's really complicated to decide the orientation and the structure of a collection. It's not from one or two information. It's from a lot of different level of information who lead your work to one collection at one moment in one country, in one market. As you know, maybe I just think about it right now, a big brand, sportswear brand who sells their pants all over the world or their shirts all over the world. They have a specific sizing for the Asian country. All brands do that. And a specific sizing for the US and a specific sizing for the Europe in the same items for the same pant. Because you don't sell the same t-shirt for an American or Canadian guy who is super tall and super fat with double XL size mostly in a lot of clients than for a European or than for an Asian who will be super skinny. We don't have, where the women don't have a lot of shape in breast and in ass. So the shape of the sizing is a little bit different. I don't say they are smaller because this is a cliche. Actually, in China, we have very tall people in the north and very short people in the south. But you have to know that every brand actually, when they sell worldwide in big quantities the same item, they change the sizing for each country. That give you also one concrete example on how the market and the physical appearance of the client also challenge your production fittings. And I have nothing more to say on that slide, but maybe you have a question on that slide about the title. No question? Okay, okay.
We'll have also individual meetings.
Yeah, sure, it makes sense.
You also can ask, maybe you will have questions by this time.
Okay, super.
Okay, we move on.
Olga, I really like your sunglasses. They are very stylish, give you a really good style. Okay, designer communication with different departments, such as marketing, merchandising, production, and other structural element of the company product manager. So we also talked about it before. How to create the emulsion, I mean, inside your brand, inside your teams. We talk about the fact to develop a collection, it's very important to not limit your creation team, your designer team. We talk about it's very good to have different office inside your brand, an office for the buyer, an office for the sellers, an office for the production, to consider every aspect and to put in confrontation of this aspect to lead to a final efficient collection. We talked about it before, you remember, I guess. So how to create this emulsion, we talked about it, but also globally, you have to keep this, you're gonna have a lot of conflict inside your brand. Conflict between the accountant and the buyer, conflict between the fashion designer and the sellers, conflict between your project and development and your bank, if she want to follow you or not. It's all about conflict. When you start to be a team and to work together to grow your company, there are going to be conflict to solve every day. The main idea when you create, and it's good to have this conflict and these emulsions, the main idea is to keep this conflict productive in the process, you know? How to be productive from conflict, how to negotiate together, how to find some common solution, how to accept to get back or to wait next collection to do something we want to do now, but it's better to do it later. So there is no special unique recipe about it, but you have to consider if you start to grow in your brand, you have to manage people. Maybe you know already about it, maybe you don't know yet. So managing people is very sensible work. It takes also energy, but if the management is good, you are very efficient after, and you have a good global functionment of your brand and good global mood in your teams. Well, it's not easy every day because we get tired, we get stressed, we have some issue, we have some timing to respect, we have some success, we have some fail, we have some very sometime frustration in limitation we have, and it's not perfect. And believe me, I've been working for big brand, we have some big budget, and we still feeling the same experience about frustrations, timing, stress, limitation of power, of decision. It's all about working as a team, even if it's a small brand or a big brand. So it's important to consider this aspect with more a human management aspect than a design aspect, but it will influence. If you have very bad management, if you have a bad mood in your company, it will be very difficult to be creative, to be efficient. If you spend your energy inside conflict, you are not productive. You have to consider the management, the human connection, and how to keep that productive. But don't avoid conflict. I remember the last lecture I had a company who asked me how to solve the conflict between the commercial part of the company, like a content buyer and the designer. I say, if you solve it, it means there is no creation in your brand, or there is no team. You will never solve it. The point is how to make it productive, because every day will be a confrontation. Sometimes you all agree together, great, open a bottle of champagne. It's a good collection. but your main work will be to manage this conflict and to keep them productive, as well as you face every day when you develop your company some difficulties and problems, and you have to find some solution. It's the same process with managing your team. Being benevolent, point 3, sorry. Being benevolent is a superpower in management, not a weakness. So this is why I tell you about right now. There is different policies. Some people think they have to be a dictator with their brands. They have to be terrible. They have to scare their staff to work faster and quicker and better. And some other people decide to have a management who is oriented to human being, understanding, and benevolent. Personally, in my career, I can tell you the most productive company I saw, who save the most of money and give efficient results, are very benevolent in their management in teams. The best teams I saw was led by benevolent person. When you consider your worker, your staff, and when they feel you understand their difficulties and their wish to help you, they feel, okay, this person I work with in difficult moments, this person consider me, consider what I'm doing well, also recognize what I'm doing wrong, but this person gives me the impression she's there to help, or is there to help me, and to develop together. When you get that from the people around you, the people who work for you have this feeling that you are benevolent, they give the maximum of themselves. They will not be at home every time they are sick, you know. They will come back to work because they remember you were super nice with them, you give them a free day for their child, and also you are actually doing a great collection and it's impossible to miss the date. So they will come back at work and be productive. And it's just an example, but I think you get the concept. You're gonna grow up, you're gonna face conflict and difficulty in your brand. Being benevolent is efficient in the end. You get more results, you get more, also you get less turnover, you know. When people are in a good company, but it's like hell, you know, like your boss is terrible, you can hold on 1, 2, 3 years, and after you demission, you know, you move to another brand where the mood is better because you are suffocating, you cannot work anymore there. So it's not efficient for you as a brand leader, because if you have to change your staff who is very skilled in specific skill, if you have to change them every 3 years because they don't feel good with the mood of the company, you lose money as well. So it's better than the people feel good and so on. You can see very big company actually, like Google or Facebook. They spend a lot of energy on making the people feeling good at work. And I also can give you an example. I visited Adidas, the mothership house in Germany, Nuremberg. It's a military basis. They transform in Adidas design department. Everybody is there. Design, production, conception, marketing, the sellers. Everybody is in the place. It's an international team. Everybody speak English. They hire people from all over the world. So they made a place to eat, a restaurant, when you have all the food of every country, because they hire all the nationalities, so you can find your food, you can feel like home, and everybody have to speak the same language in English, and they make sure you have time during the day to have a break, to practice some sport for free, because the company installed for you a gym club, tennis ground, a basketball ground, and of course you have the item from Adidas to play with, because this is a sport brand. So this is an example of a very huge brand who have a very huge budget to do that. You're going to tell me, Adrien, we cannot give keeping for the child inside our company, we cannot give a basketball ground for the people to relax, or we cannot give a restaurant to our worker because we don't have enough budget for that. This is not the topic. This is what do a big brand with a lot of budget. They can keep this money for them, but they analyze that is rentable to spend a lot of money to make the people feel super good at work, to feel relaxed, to make some sports, to have some solution for their child, to eat healthy, to communicate together, because in the end, they feel good at work, they spend more time at work, they stay later at night, and they are also more faithful to the brand, and they take part in the success of the brand because they feel good with the value of the brand, the workers. So it's very important to see if big brands spend a lot of money on it, it means it's efficient. So Google do the same, Facebook do the same. So all the brands who are leader on the market, actually, they take care of their workers and they try to put the best mood as they can and the best condition and solution for the worker as they can. So do what you can. If you can do only a space in your company with some super good coffee for free and a place to discuss and to have tea or coffee and to have a good relaxed moment, do it, because your staff will feel good, you're gonna grow, you're gonna have more workers. Don't hesitate. If you can find a solution for the people who have child to put all the child in the same place or in the same bus when they go to work to keep the child for the day, do it as well. If it's affordable for your budget, do it. If it's not, do what you can, but keep this process in mind. I know it's not design, it's more about management of the company, but it has some impact of happiness at work and open-minded and creativity of your team and communication between your teams and result and commercial economical result efficient. And when you are on a showroom abroad in another country and your teams have a strong energy, they have fun, they feel good, naturally you will see the buyer coming to your space because there is a good energy there. Everybody is attracted by good energy and good mood. So this is super important. That's it for that slide. I know it's a bit out of the topic, but I hope it was interesting for you.
The last but not the least, my favorite slide of this presentation.
Okay. We discussed about some homeworks to give to the finalists before the one-to-one meetings. Is it right, Tatiana? Am I right in what I said now? Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah,
by
okay.
the individual meetings, by one.
Okay. So I made just one proposition of homework. So I said, who wants some homework? It's a question. When you ask that to a class of students, nobody raises their hands, but this is why I like this question. Okay, I propose you a little role-playing game. Everybody know what is a role-playing game? Maybe some of you already play at it or had experience about it in training formation. It's like we do a game like we are in reality, but we are not in reality. We play the game just when you are kids and you said, I am the policeman, you are the chief, I run after you, let's make the experience. So it's a role-playing game. Next meeting, you will present 5 items of your collections you want to sell in a pop-up store that is located in a European city, like Paris, for example. but Paris can be efficient, but we can do also other city if you like. So choose 5 items on your own brand, and let's see how you sell them to me. Imagine I will be in that role-playing game. You will be you will be your brand, and me, I will be a buyer or a shop or a big client from that country. And you will come and you have to sell your 5 items to me, and you have to explain me when I need your products in my shop or in my market, or why as a client I need this product, these items, and you can prepare whatever you want. You are free. You can improvise, you can prepare in advance, you can, but you have to choose 5 items to be possible to do it on a quick exercises. And in that role-playing game, we will see how you do it. It's not a notation, you know, it's not to judge you if you succeed or not. It's from that game, we put you out of your comfort zone, because I will be someone you don't know. I will be demanding. I will be not easy, maybe client. So it will, from this little exercise, after we do a conclusion on what was working, what was not working, what ideas that give to you, what you like in the reaction of your client, or you didn't like, or what you like or didn't like in your own reaction. And we're going to analyze it, and maybe a lot of questions will come from these exercises, and we can talk about many topics and improve how to prep, because I know biggest part of you, maybe not everybody, but want to sell abroad and grow their business and find some new buyers, some new clients abroad, and maybe in West Europe. So let's play this little game to be immersive in the project you have.
Is clear about the project?
I have a question.
Yeah, Julie from 7-Eleven.
Yes, Adrien. I want to ask, it should be 5 items from one collection, or it could be just like from any collection together?
You choose. Imagine you have a meeting next week with a client in Paris. It's a buyer. You have many shops, and you have to prepare 5 items. You choose whatever you want. You tell the story you want. Maybe this buyer, he check your brand, he check your website, or maybe he never had a look at your brand. You don't know who you are. So you do what you want. From collection, without the collections, I don't know, but you have an opportunity to sell your brand in Paris. So here we go. You prepare something.
Adrien, you're first.
Marina from Pure One, right?
Yes, we would like to try to present
Okay.
5 items.
Super. Great.
May I have a question, Adrien?
Olga from Gorset, okay.
Yeah, Gerset. It should be real items, clothes, or we can show it on the screen on telephone.
Oh, it will be on the screen, because we will do that in, it's a role-playing game, so you will not be in Paris. We will do that on the video. So let's pretend we are in Paris. You have a flight, you come, you meet me, but we will do it on the video. It's a game. So you can send me a visual. Maybe you will see with Tatiana and Maria. You can make a little slide with your 5 items and some sentence or whatever you do as you want, a little page. You send to them, they send to me, and when I have you on the screen, I open the slide and I see your items, and you talk to me about your items.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if, am I right, Olga, do you want also to show it using video, or just at the moment? Was your question is about, for example, I want to show this jacket, for example, it's on model on me, but also it would be better if you send a picture, and I think you can use some items via video, but connection will be not so good, as well as now we are in the process of preparing buyers meetings for your brands, and we ask buyer, should we show these items using video, and they say better to have pictures because video we could have bad connection and all these things. That's why photo and number or name of item much better.
Okay, and is it should be a photos of different part of this of the clothes, or even just one photo of the whole item?
You can do as you want. It's really open. It's one slide. I need 5 items. You can present them as you want. It's really free, and don't be stressed about it. It's an exercise. I will not give that slide to any professional. It's just in between us. So it's an exercise. So no stress, but play the game. You have a little pressure because you have to succeed. You know, you have to sell your brand.
Thanks.
Marina, you have questions?
Yeah.
Is it clear for now?
Tell me.
I just said that we would like to try this role-playing game, so we can try to present it.
Exactly. You get the concept, Marina.
Great.
So this is the last slide. Thank you for your attention, because I know I talk fast. I jump from one topic to another very quickly. But the idea is to give you a very dynamic and alive meetings, and something with based on real experience and communication with you. So I hope it was enjoyable for you, clear understanding, and if something come back to your mind about what we discussed today, you can prepare your question for the next time we meet.
Okay, Adrien, thank you very much. You gave us much more time, more than we expected. Thank you for this, and thank you for the information. I hope it will help us to be prepared for buyers meeting and to be prepared for international market, especially European market. Everybody, as you said before, each Ukrainian girl wants to be a designer. Yes, I think not princess, but designer. I know it for sure because of our 6 years experience of new fashion zone contest. But also each designer wants to sell clothes or accessories in Paris. Believe me, it is a magic dream for us.
Okay, perfect. I hope we can concretize that dream at least one time, and maybe more. Anyway, for now, I'm still working full-time in Paris, most part of the years. So if you have some event in Paris later, we'll maybe have other opportunity in the future to meet each other even concretely. It can be nice. Okay.
Okay,
Tatiana?
So
I just have 3 minutes more and I have to leave you. So if there is some last questions or things, go ahead.
Before the questions, can I ask you all, guys, to make photos like if we was like in a live situation, but to make it from screenshot. I don't know how to say, but I just ask you to turn on your camera or sitting more close to camera, and 3, 2, 1, and we can make some photos. Okay.
Okay, Tatiana.
Are you ready?
Okay, let's try.
Maybe use your smile, like your energy, positive.
Okay.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Okay, super, great.
Oh, thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you, Tatiana.
So maybe anybody have questions to Adrien?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much to everybody. Have a nice evening. Take care and see you. Tatiana will let you know our additional plans.
Yes, we'll keep in touch and have a nice evening. Thank you.
Okay, bye everybody.
Okay, thank you again.
See you.
Bye.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.